Missing link.
All right, we ready to call to order October 12th, 16 Town of Freetom Board meeting. Would you like to call roll?
Roll call?
You say his name and he
Oh,
said.
Rolando?
Present.
Okay. Shad?
Present.
Ty?
Okay. I would like to state a quorum.
I'll make that motion or second it.
All right, quorum passes. I don't see that we have any unscheduled guests. So it looks like moving on to item number 4 will be department reports. Is Pebbles or anybody supposed to join us later?
She couldn't make it tonight. She had another meeting.
Okay.
in Alva, so I think that's why she can't make it.
We'll skip over the fire and ambulance report and move along to the maintenance department.
As you know, or may not know, we have Harris in town doing risers. He ran a new line for the ambulance, but they're gonna have to come back and dig up a certain part of it because we don't. It was partially steel and part poly, and so he says he wants to dig it up back to the meter and find out if to see what's going on. It seems seems to have stopped the leak that we had there, but he was over on Frontier gonna dig up them meters, and come find out that we have a section of steel still from probably from Highway 50 to about the alley behind my house. So that was supposed to have been redone several months ago, but I guess the guy who lives over there had too much stuff in the way at the time, like junk vehicles and stuff, so.
So he's gonna change that line out this week, or?
No, I don't know when they'll be able to get back in there. Probably that's part of it, but, like Mike Bales is supposed to be here tomorrow, PRC is supposed to be here tomorrow. I think Mike Bales wanted to get together with Harrison and Randy about the anoid zone on that one stretch of highway, which they really can't do now because that bridge is under construction. So that's gonna have to be pushed back until, well, it's like 45 days, I think they're gonna have that bridge torn up, so it's gonna be at least another 3 months. He's supposed to be back Monday to finish off, well, I don't know if he'll be able to finish them all off, but do some more risers.
Okay.
Wife found he likes me, I guess. And you guys, I guess you can tell we started painting the sidewalks. We ran out of paint, but that's no big deal.
Looks good.
It does.
I'll get more paint sometime this week. That's about it. I mean, we just basically just been tying up things, getting ready for the season change, so getting all this little stuff out of the way.
Okay.
I wish he would come back for that meeting with Bales, but you know, let's get this the way it goes. He went on some kind of emergency deal again, so he's a pretty popular guy.
Did Travis give any indication of when he might be back again?
Monday. then do some more risers. Most of the risers that we've gotta do is out here on the highway now. Then we gotta talk about replacing that section of pipe on Frontier that's up the street. He seems to think it goes to the alley and then ties into the main line that goes down that alley. I mean, and we're not even sure if that's steel or not, because, and, oh yeah, we had OMAC come in, and I didn't, how old is that map? I don't know how old that map is, but he says we need to get it updated if, you know, wherever the red is steel pipe. I can't see the bottom one.
So it shouldn't be too old.
But they voiced their concerns about that stretch in between the two bridges too. He says we're not gonna win no ribbons, his words, that he says it doesn't look that bad.
We're not gonna what?
It won't, he said it don't look that bad, but we won't know until we get a report from the guys who did the audit. We had two guys doing the audit, and some other guy came in later. And we went out to the border station. I changed the border station padlock to a combination lock in case something happens to me. Anybody can get in there for emergency shut off, whatever, if we have to. So that's pretty much it. We've started changing more signs. Of course, we ran out of Telspar and stuff, but we've just been changing the signs that don't have the street names on them. So trying to get all the bad stop signs replaced, ones that are beat up or don't have any reflectivity to them anymore. And, about it.
Well, sounds good to me. Stuff's looking good. Paint job really looks good. Signs look good.
Well, we also had a visit from the Dawn for DEQ, and of course I was wrote up for not having a license, so she told me what to do. I've got my application sent off, which is only going to be a temporary license, and now, you know, I'm starting to get classes in, but the nearest class for the water part of it is in Ardmore, and I can't shoot out Ardmore. It's too far away. But she said that, well, we've got something else for wastewater that's coming up in Ponca City next month. I need to start getting training on a lot of this stuff. She said this write-up isn't no big deal now, but yeah, there's a one in Ponca City, the 16th, next month. Well, I'll attend that one. It doesn't really seem like it. Well, it's just a safety training hours. It really doesn't have much to do with.
Is this for doing water testing or for operating the lagoons or?
Operating the water system and the lagoons. I mean, it's not much to either one of them. I have been sending in our bacterial samples every month religiously, so we don't get rid up for that no more. And the plan I made a few months ago and submitted for sampling wells or sampling sites around town, I never heard back from them if they approved it or just, you know. So she told me that whatever I've been doing to keep doing, don't start testing any of these other sites without them saying do it. So I've been catching samples out of this thing.
So there's training either in Ardmore or in Ponca City?
Well, there's training classes all over the place, but this is the nearest one, and this is for waste, I guess it's water and wastewater. Yeah. Cindy sent this to us, so. But these classes are, I found out one of the classes was in Woodward. When I found out it was in Woodward, it was last week type thing. It was, and you gotta have your money in and your sign up for it 3 weeks in advance. So I'll just stay on top of that until I get that straightened out. But other than that, other than not having my license, that's the only thing she's, I mean, she's really helpful too. She's not a nasty person in any sense of the word, so she'll be all right.
You said the one in Ponca next month,
Yeah,
and that's the soonest,
yeah.
and by taking that, you will be certified.
No.
No.
No, see, when I first started, and the first time I met with Dawn, she had a temporary license deal, the application to mail off. Well, I didn't do it. I kept procrastinating, and then she came again, and she said, "Did you get your temporary license?" And I said, "No." She goes, "Well, then we won't worry about that right now. So we'll deal with that later." And I said, "Okay. Do I send it in?" She goes, "No, don't send it in yet." So she knew I was going to be in violation, but I don't know. So I sent in for the temporary license. I haven't heard back from them yet. They'll either approve me or disapprove me. So just wait to see and find out about that. But once I get my temporary license, then I can actually attend these classes. Because I attended a class in Woodward one day. That was the new DEQ guidelines and sample sites and stuff like that. Well, I didn't get any credit for that because I didn't have a temporary license. So, I mean, it was good to know, but it didn't show up on paper for me. So, because then you got this little thing that you have them sign saying that you had participated in the class there, you know. But they didn't. She said because you don't have a temporary license.
Well, I
They're
wonder if you
neat.
get your temporary license with any of those classes you took, be able to get credit for
I
retroactive.
don't think so. I'll ask her. I don't think so. But that's the only one I've ever attended, and that was a pretty important one because of the DEQ changes and the various sample sites, but for whatever reason they haven't approved or disapproved it. I mean, they haven't heard back from it at all. She says, "Don't sample around town, you just keep getting it from where you're getting it. Don't take it upon yourself and assume that they approved it." So that's what they did. So that's it for me.
All right. Well, very good, Stuart. Thank you.
Well, I do want to ask one question, which doesn't really have, I'll be here a year, the 15th,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just wondering about vacation. You guys gonna hire it on since you had a week vacation after a year?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you go about setting that up? Do I just pick some dates and just submit them?
Yeah, pretty well.
Do you have some dates in mind?
No, no, no. I got no place to go.
I figured he'd go to Cancun and lay on the beach.
There you
Yeah.
You can go to Maria's for dinner and
Yeah, that's true.
get a room,
Yeah.
overlook the Cimarron.
I go sit at the Cimarron, it's just like a beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, salty too.
All right, well, that concludes the maintenance department report. Let's move right along to the office manager's report.
Okay, the only thing that I have is a possible leak at Pat and Lola Thompson's. It's, I guess, an ongoing thing. Stuart, you went out there before and dug it up?
Yeah,
Okay.
and repaired it.
And it is still, the last 2 months has been really high, so I averaged their bill out the last 2 months, and I talked to Pat, Lola's husband, about it. And they were supposed to have been looking around the house, see if they could find any water. And Lola put this on the back of her bill when they sent the bill in. Says, if there is a leak, it is at the point where the city spliced into the line in order to move the meter. If the city created the leak, I am not responsible for repair or amount of water leaked. And the only thing I can think is have Stuart go out there and redig it up to see if the leak is in fact where it was spliced.
You weren't here when we moved those meters, were you?
No, but I did repair the leak where the meter used to be. Yeah, the line blew apart right there. But I repaired it, it might have started leaking at the same spot again. All I can do is dig it up, find it out. But if it's not there, then what? I mean,
How far from the meters was that?
it's about 50, 60 feet from where it used to be to where it is now.
All I know to do is go back, just like you did before, to where the original meter can was. Dig back several feet on their end of the line and see if there's anything, and
Yeah, I think, well, as soon as I repaired it, they were still, they had a leak somewhere. I mean, we didn't backfill that right away. We let it sit overnight, make sure it didn't start leaking again, and then I guess he backfilled it finally, but it could be leaking there, but if it's not leaking there, you know, it's up to them to get a plumber to fix it. I mean, from that point to the meter, yeah, we probably need to try to find it if it's there, but if it's past the point where the old meter was, that's on them, you know. Do you know
Yeah,
why
we,
they moved them meters?
hmm.
Do you know why they moved them meters? Because they were leaking all the time, or just in a bad spot?
I can't remember why they moved those meters. I think that was done before I got here, maybe. But I'm not sure. I don't know if it had to do something with putting in the gas line, changing out gas lines or something.
You know, all three meters, gas meters are right there together, just behind that petition fence. That then they got all three meters in one box out by the road for the water. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's possible where I fixed it might be leaking again, but if it's not, I mean, there's really so much we can do to find it. I have a feeling it's somewhere in their yard somewhere, and it's real sandy up there anyway, so it'll never come to the surface. You know what I mean?
That's,
But I don't know. I'll see what I can do about. I wanted to ask about that anyway. That easement in there. Cindy's house here, Brett Smith's house is here, and then up here is Thompson's house. Is that right, Tom?
yeah,
Well, they've just been throwing branches and grass clippings and everything into that easement back in there, and it's become, I think, quite a fire hazard now. I think it needs to be cleaned up, but, I mean, we can clean it up, but you gotta tell them, don't do that no more. You know, that's just I think it's a fire waiting to happen there. And they've got and the alley down from where you live.
Well, on the original water line deal, all I noted would be to go on their side of where the original meter was in your splice and put a ball valve in there. That way you can isolate right there where that ball valve would be where we terminate any kind of ownership, and just see if anything leaks through that meter
Yeah.
over a 12-hour period or something. As long as they're notified that they're not gonna have water, if they're wanting us to test it, that's the only way I know
Yeah.
to test it.
Okay, I'll do that.
And if that's good and you're not leaking any water, all I know to do is open that valve and turn their water back on
It's on there.
and backfill it.
Okay.
And tell them it's on their end that we've tested our end. But I don't know any other way to
You,
solve that, and go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it probably wouldn't hurt just to swap out another meter, just to,
Well, we did that.
did you last time?
Yeah.
Okay, if you did that, then never mind that.
Brand new one. Oh, sorry, some, circuit riders for, DQ came through here, and they kinda did a look on our inventory and stuff. And, all fittings now have to be no lead, and they got to be imprinted on the meter. Any brass fittings, and it has to be stamped on the fittings, you're not supposed to use them anymore. And the last set of meters that I guess Eddie got was rebuilt meters, and so we're not even supposed to be using the meters anymore. I don't have any more of them, cause I've installed them all, but, he says, on the board that, everything, all the fittings back there are obsolete, can't use them anymore.
So we pretty much have to order all new, too,
Yep.
inventory.
Gotta have NL stamped on. It's a lot of brass. I don't know what to do.
Have a garage sale.
You can't rebuild them like you can send them in and get them rebuilt. You can't, because the bodies, you've got little lead or a lot of lead, I don't know. It's just weird. It's getting crazier than what them guys say. I mean, it's just, they're complicating the hell out of things.
So even if we found out they had no lead, we still couldn't use them because they don't have the stamp.
Right.
I don't understand how you have a bullet in your hip for 50 years after the war, not be bothered by lead. 1 million part per million of lead in a piece of brass metallurgy is gonna poison somebody over 30 years. Well,
I just thought I'd let you
that's
know.
good enough. Thanks for that.
Yeah, for that good
That
news,
was a
huh?
little update.
Well, the good thing is I don't have any more new meters, so, you know, in the ones I buy now are gonna be no lead.
Well, I'm
Even
glad we
selling-
found that out before we bought 4 dozen rebuilt
Yeah.
meters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's not for me, again.
On that easement, that's like an alley up through there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess we need to send them a letter that says we're gonna clean that alley up, and please don't dump on it. We might send that after we fix the water issue.
Yeah.
Can I see her letter?
two streets is that alley between?
Cowboy Lane? Yeah, Boot Hill Lane and Rattlesnake Ridge.
You guys got some great names.
Boot Hill Lane isn't even a road, it's just dead ends there.
So Mrs. Thompson, does she wanna, there's not really a, is there a set amount of overage?
No, I don't have that information yet. That's something I can pull off the computer, yes. But I didn't have that for the meeting though.
Cause it looks to me like she's just saying that they're not responsible for the repair or the amount of leaked water.
Cause I've had to
Yeah.
average it the last 2 months. Cause
Average in with their
it was,
normal use, you mean?
it was like 20,000 gallons is what it was for this month. Last month, I wanna say it said 42.
I guess go back and see what their water usage was
Okay.
before the meter was moved, if you could find that out
Mhm.
too. Cause if we go in there and cut all the spice out and just put a new ball valve and go back to our spice back into our side, and
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, that would prove that we,
Make the attempt to find it anyway.
cause even if you're barely leaking, you're gonna move that meter dial, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, well,
Their meters.
because we've had a lot of problems up there, whenever I read meters, I sit there for a bit and I watch it, and it is moving. So, but it's not spinning, it's just moving. But after, 30 days' time,
I'm not trying to get out of anything, my hope is that you put a ball valve on and the meter's still spinning and we can just run a whole new line or something and be done with it than having to explain to people that it's on their end. I'd much rather have a leak on our end. I'm more easily convinced that I might have a leak, but
who's that other high user that? You tell me about the,
Obar?
oh yeah, I know about, no, somebody, you said that, you told me that someone told you not to even average it.
Carrie Nixon.
Okay, next one.
There were only 2 that I know of.
Oh, what's his name, Lon, he's using a lot of water, remember? Lon Ludington?
Oh, yeah. But that's, a monthly thing though. It's not something that was just, it was high 1 month and it's low the next month. It's been pretty high the whole time.
Throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it doesn't even pop up on the computer that it's a misusage. It's just a high amount.
They don't irrigate as far as I know. I mean, even if they did, I don't think they'd use that much water, would they?
I have no clue. I'm not sure. I do know that in the comments on the computer it says that that I can't average their bill. It says no more averaging, and that was from 2013.
I pray people don't have as many gas leaks on their side of the meter as what they do water leaks on their side of the meter.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we cover everything in the
I'm pretty sure.
Thompson case?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and our clerk and treasurer are out. forego their reports and move on to line item 5. Everyone has had time to approve, or to look at the past meeting minutes. I make a motion
I'll second that.
to approve. Motion carries. Line item number 6. Can I get a motion to approve POs for the general fire and ambulance funds?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Line item number 7, discussion and possible vote on tabled item from August and September meetings on trash service for the Chamber of Commerce. I believe the Chamber of Commerce has accepted that is part of their sanitation bill, and we don't charge them for a dumpster or anything, and any dumpster donation or trade or whatever that's done between them and Harper is kind of separate from us, so I don't see any need to charge them any additional trash or anything. And I don't think they have an issue with the polycart at this time from before. I think there were several issues that got mixed up.
Yeah, I've heard 2 or 3 things, so.
Then what action do we need to take on that to get it off of our,
I'd say just make a motion to take no action. I mean, that's a legitimate agenda
Yeah, if
thing.
they drop, I mean, if they're okay
No
with
action and
everything straightened out.
Yeah, and we'll second it and vote on it and.
Okay, so am I gonna continue to carry their poly card on the deal or take it off?
no, that will still be their sanitation.
Okay.
bill as part of it. Can I get a motion to,
I'll make the motion.
in that one, to axe that one?
Take
Take
no
no
action
action.
and
Take no
drop it
action.
from the
Yeah.
future agendas. I see the county commissioners do that all the time.
I'll second that. Discussion and possible vote, moving on to line item number 8, discussion and possible vote on Camp Houston trash service for past months of possible overcharge. We've talked about this several times. I've always wanted to be able to vote on this when all 3 members were present. Unfortunately, every time we go to vote on it, all of our members aren't present, and we've heard from our attorney, but I haven't heard anything from Harper Sanitation. And my concern is that if we have a record of 2 dumpsters being up there, and Harper has a record of 2 dumpsters being up there, Harper was billing us for 2 dumpsters that was in their driver's book, but their driver was going up there and only dumping 1 dumpster. It seems like if camp is pushing for us to refund them, we need to push back on Harper, because they seem to be a little bit more of the stewards of all the dumpsters and stuff. Along with that, and I don't know if it's gonna matter to Harper, but I know we have a fee if a polycart goes missing in our ordinance. But there's also the issue on this Camp Houston thing of where in the world did this several hundred or $1,000 dumpster go to? So I guess I feel like the whole burden of this thing doesn't necessarily all stand squarely on our shoulders as much as it does our company that we've contracted with to keep track of their dumpsters, and if they're charging us for it,
Yeah.
Cam's getting charged for it. If their representative in the field every week that's going to dump it knows he's only dumping 1 of them, then I think they're somewhat responsible. So I guess I feel like if we're gonna take any action to refund Camp Houston, we need to be refunded for that dumpster, so that's my thoughts on it, that's my discussion. I don't know if Rolando has anything to add to that.
No, that sounds right, if what you're saying is you wanna wait till you
Here's
talk
something
from
from,
Harper,
okay,
because you're right, I mean, are getting billed.
yeah, I mean, I guess I feel it's, susceptible to overbilling, if that's how you wanna look at it,
Yeah,
is camp. Certainly, I've discussed before that I feel that there's some responsibility on,
Has anybody been told to ask Harper for the records?
I've not asked them for the records as far as like having emailed, but I did call and speak to them. And everything that they said is what Shad just said, that they did have it on record that there were 2 being picked up, and that after speaking with the driver finally said that he was only picking up 1, even though the records do show that there were 2. He just never told anybody.
and our town attorney, I don't think he mentioned anything about end of year book closing and all of that.
Mm-mm.
But that's the third part of this
Third
little equation, what are we authorized to refund? Certainly we wanna get this taken care of before we end up closing another year's books on this, but if we're talking about a history of what, 47 months or something?
Rather than foul up your audit, your end of your audit, can you make a deal with Camp Houston store to
Future billing?
future billing? Forego future billing for that same amount of time they were overcharged. And that way you don't have to go back and undo already closed books, and yet they get relief.
Yeah, we'll see if Harper wants to do that with us, too.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the
Yeah,
other half,
that's
that's
good.
the other half of it.
Cause I know they're doing a lot for civic and social groups and stuff like the chamber and the Legion and stuff like that, so they're still in that same spirit
But it sounds like
of
you now,
helping out with them.
it sounds like you now know the truth. So the question is, how do you remedy the, and I think you ought to take the one that causes you the least money call loss. Cause I'm really not familiar, and all the boards I cover, I never see them go back past the end of a fiscal year and do anything. That's just so unusual, I've just never seen that, but that doesn't, it's not law, but, I mean, I just haven't seen it. So if you could avoid even bringing that question up by the future billing thing, that'd be a more painless way.
Can you contact our auditor and see what he says about if we had to go back?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if we make future, ruling on future billing, that's still
Still-
somewhat pulling out
The old,
of past
yeah,
reconciliations.
yeah, it's so different. Private business, we can do that snap of a finger. You guys in public business, wow, different rules.
Yeah, it's 30 days to decide if you're gonna decide on anything.
Yeah.
Or in the case of line item number 8, about 60 days, but that doesn't seem like that much when you consider this is a 47-month long issue. But I propose to have a motion to table once again Camp Houston trash service vote until we get something out of Harper and get something from
The auditor.
the auditor to see what we can do or can't do.
I'll second that.
service request by Mark Nixon. Y'all know Mark Nixon is having to do community service, and he had approached me sometime back about being able to get some community service hours through the town. And I know some of that was, I think maybe mowing the airport and one other
So he pretty much just
jobs.
needs hours, community service for his,
I've got a lot of work at the lagoons that I gotta get done. I can put in the work. What do you want?
Okay.
I'm okay with it, I mean,
Yeah, I guess he just needs to bring the paperwork up here to you. See whatever needs to be done. This is possible action, I didn't know it was a thing that we needed to vote on necessarily, but I don't have any problem with it.
I don't either, I mean,
I guess I make a motion that Mark Nixon serves out his community service through the town of Freetom.
I'll second that.
And this is where I always forget stuff, but is there any new business?
Powell did tell me to let you guys know that there's some cities interested in the ambulance 42. That's the one that we're replacing. And she said she's gonna get bids and all that stuff. So it might be out of that shop pretty soon.
You said 42?
Yeah, if I remember right, she said ambulance 42. Let me double check that. Yep, unit 42.
Where's the other 39 ambulances? Have we gone through that many in the course of EMT history?
I don't know about the numbers, but the new ambulance did pass a state inspection.
Alright.
And like I said, she said the 42, some cities are interested in it. If it doesn't work, if they're not interested, they're gonna she's gonna take bids on it, so.
Is that Pebbles?
Yes.
I remember sitting in on a conversation where you were talking about a defibrillator. I've got, see that bottom, where I wrote there on the bottom, you can read my writing.
Yeah.
That's a price for one of them defibrillators, for $2,000. I just put it up there in case you think about getting one for here or whatever.
Where is this going up, maybe? Where is this supposed to go up?
What?
The defibrillator.
I talked about putting one in the store, cause it's about the only thing here that's open.
Oh, for an emergency. any
Yeah, that's
situation.
open long
Yeah,
enough hours that's kind of a public place, or even, I can't imagine what it would take to get it in a federal building like a post office lobby, but I thought it'd be nice to have it somewhere where it's somewhat secure when nobody's around, but it's in more of a public
No, that's
setting
a
where
good
people
idea.
can get, because we don't have anything in Freedom right now.
Yeah.
And short of an aspirin, a defibrillator is a pretty handy tool when you're
I don't
Yeah, I was
even think they
gonna
got
30 miles from,
They don't even got them up at the school, do they?
I thought I saw something on the wall up there.
They might, I don't remember if they got them or not,
Can't remember.
or if they,
Maybe a different school too.
but no, that's a good
I was just going through that blue book and the page just opened up to that. And I remember you talking about it, so it had a price to it, so I just thought I'd write it down for you.
Well, thank you, Stuart.
And as you see, we got us a first aid kit over the shoulder here, which it's not that fancy, but I think
Better than nothing.
It's a start.
I think the insurance companies would probably like to see that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes, we got one in the office, but it really just has Band-Aids in it.
Does it have tweezers?
That one does.
That's good.
It's got eye wash in it too.
Yeah.
It's high tech.
I searched all over town for an eye flusher.
Well, it's good we have some sort of something.
On Main Street.
Okay, well,
And I got something else. What do you think of purchasing new aluminum bleachers? Something
I
that
hadn't thought about it for,
just things that go on downtown, shootouts, all that stuff, something that I don't even know who owns the bleachers that are always used. Last I knew, they weren't even anybody in Freedoms. I always thought they were the schools, but I don't think they are.
I thought they were in Commerce.
I thought that too, but I don't,
I think there's a fairground.
you know,
Oh, from County Fair?
and,
They're on axles like a squeeze chute or something, aren't they?
well, there's some that you can put them on that come with their wheels to move, or, I got online price some, and it's like 1,500 for about 20 feet, 6 rows, I think. I mean, we have ways of moving them. Just, I don't know if we needed to get some for that we can call ours here in town, you know. You know, for the shootout, whatever people do downtown, or if they need them up at the park, anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good idea.
I mean, as much as people been using the fairgrounds, you know, it's kinda,
Overstaying our welcome.
well, I just,
We use it more than, or as much as they do.
yeah, I mean, they've been down here quite a while, I think.
It's worth talking about. I think we need to talk with maybe the shootout guys and the chamber and whoever else might want them or wanna pitch in or have them kinda cooperatively owned where Freedom would have its
Yeah.
own bleachers for anybody for anything.
I just thought it'd be pretty handy for us to have our own bleachers, something we can keep an eye on and not worry about if they're tore, well, worry about if they're tore up, but not be responsible for other people's.
I agree.
As much as we've been moving those and using them, you know,
Is that who they are, the
I think so, I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure on that.
fair board?
Okay.
I got one. The flags that were taken down on Main Street and stuff, are they back here? Do we need to get new poles or find new poles or have
No,
less
we
fix
just need-
them or?
We need new brackets, then the brackets just, I'll show you the kind of brackets we need, and they're not expensive.
Not expensive always means in municipal money that we're gonna have to buy new ones every time. Please hold for this brief intermission.
Brackets we need.
That's what we need.
The way it's basically the way they are now is just a lag bolt screwed into the pole. And that's all there is. And that lag bolt gets bent in the high wind and stuff, and then it just, well, they don't hold either. They just eventually just pull right out of the wood. And how many did you pick up that just
Oh, bunches of them.
came out with the lag bolt?
And these will withstand our nice strong gusts of wind.
Yeah, well,
Do you know how much one of those costs?
they're about $7, I think.
$7. How many flags? Guess.
20.
Do we have any magazines that offer stuff like this? Like, I know we get our Christmas decorations and that stuff from a company. I didn't know if there was somebody that specializes in this kind of stuff.
All I've got is flags, order flags, and I'd have to locate it, bury them underneath all the other pamphlets and stuff they want to sell us. Them would be the better ones. Even if you could always put a band around them instead of screwing them in, you know. You've got enough room to band them onto the pole, which the bands
holes
is
in it
another
too.
probably $3, $4 a piece. I mean, I wouldn't trust just screwing it in there.
I didn't know if somebody made something with a bigger mound, or even if the county could manufacture something, we could put bigger diameter lag bolts in there, cause I'm just thinking, maybe it's just cause being in the gas station business, I know how much you get screwed on everything, but putting those stainless straps on here to hold it to a pole, they're expensive.
Yeah. That's what to think about.
But we could try a few and see how they do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Surely 4 3-inch screws would hold that, don't you think?
I don't know. I mean, you
We
can only
can
go by the
discuss it
size
at
screws
June's
you can get
meeting,
through
see
the
if
hole.
there's any left
Yeah.
after
Oh, yeah,
that.
but like those thin deck screws maybe,
Yeah. Well, we'll try one.
3 inches
Sit there.
long, I think.
Get beat up, you know.
I got one on my house and it's fine, but that's only 'cause the flag can escape and fly up on the roof of my house.
Yeah, I've
so.
got one too, but it's not subject to the beatings that it takes out here on.
I mean, I think it's neat for a town named Freetom to have some pretty nice flags hanging out on Main Street and 50 and stuff, but I'd like them to be robust commercial mounts and poles and all-weather flags that can kind of withstand
Yeah.
that sort of thing and be illuminated correctly and that kind of stuff, where we don't have any more of these issues of
Well, that one's
having
all
to take down
steel.
flags July 3rd because 3/4 of them are pointing towards the ground.
Yeah. Or on the ground. That's an all steel one. They make them that has a lot of plastic components to it, which I don't like anything other than that duck dial there. You want it all steel, where they just, plastic gets brittle in the sun. Right?
Okay, yeah, let's get some of them, try them out and see what all you have in your flag book. 'Cause I think we still got one wounded soldier down here on
Yeah,
Main
we
Street.
need to get that down. It's kinda sad. I got one thing, have you given much, any thought to, a welder?
After
Remember
we
we
talked,
talking about,
yeah, you want the truth?
uh,
No, I didn't.
well, I wanted to know if you guys even
just a shop unit, or is it a generator motor?
Yeah, you gotta put it on a trailer.
So it's a generator.
Yeah, generator,
Generator motor.
240 and 110. It's really nice when he's, like I said, they used it a few times and it's been sitting in the corner of the shed. And I said, well, maybe the town would be looking for one. He goes, well, it's for the town. I'll give you a good deal on it. But I didn't want to ask any more about it until you even considered it. If you know Dwayne, he's all for Freetom, so you can bet he'd give us a really good price on it.
Does the mayor get to use it when power goes out?
Well, you can wrestle the board members for that, yeah, really.
Draw straws.
A welder like that is pretty handy. I
Well,
won't deny that, especially if it's a generator welder. You can use it for all sorts of things, power tools.
yeah. And, the cutting torch, you lease the bottles.
Yeah, that's,
But the cutting torch themselves are, I think, a really nice set, like 150.
Yeah.
So is this just the welder or welding trailer with
No, it's
models
just the
or?
welder.
yeah, but a welder like that, you can just, a little hoist, put it in the back of your truck, move it anyway.
But I didn't want to call Dwayne, Dwayne's a pretty good friend of mine. I didn't want to call him about it if the answer was no, since it bothered him about it. No, just think about it.
In my opinion, I think a generator welder's a handy thing to have,
Oh, yeah.
because it's not just for welding. I mean, could be used for, like I said,
Emergency lighting, or, if you had
other tools.
something down, yeah. I imagine because it's been sitting so long, it's probably gonna have to
Carburetor cleaned out,
cleaned up and stuff, but, that's it. I'm gonna go home, guys. You had enough of me yet?
Well, if you're okay with that, I'd like to know what he's asking for. I mean,
Well, then I'll get a hold of him.
you're okay with something that,
Yeah, I guess it would depend on price. I think a lot of things the town needs.
yeah, but
I'd like to have a backhoe and a dump truck and a skid steer. I think those would be
Dump
handy
truck
too.
would be nice, yeah. Little 1-ton dump truck. Like one of them back east in New Jersey, man, that came in handy.
I'm gonna put helper springs on your half ton, but I'm on Model A crank truck. That beds on it.
No, anything would be all right, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, see what he wants for it.
Okay. Need me anymore for anything?
You're good to go. If that concludes new business, I make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second that.
See you guys.
Thank you, Stuart.